Hello, YouTube. I have got a dynamic lesson for you. Now, this is probably one of the most important lessons that I ever learned that really transformed my life. And I hope I caught your attention because I'm going to give you, by the end of this video, I'm going to give you the most crucial action steps on how to implement this video. So if you're just breezing, you're not going to get the importance of this. You want to stay till the very end of this video. Now, if you've been waiting for the right moment to transform your life, that moment is right now. But I'm going to tell you the truth of all truths. It's going to be dependent on how you see yourself. And if you're following me and watching this, you know how much in my teachings I talk about you. I want you right now to make up your mind that you are going to create exactly what you want. And everything that anyone has ever accomplished, you can accomplish. And it's done the same way. It's done by law. What does that mean? You have to understand you, and as you grow, so is your income. What if I told you right now, I was sharing with a group I was mentoring this morning, and I said, every one of you already knows how to double their income. And I had people nodding their head. Then I said, well, why aren't you doing it? Every one of you watching this right now, without anything, knows you can double your income. But until you create a great understanding about you and how you operate, nothing's going to change. But when you work on you, and I'm talking about the real you, I'm not talking about those limitations, I'm not talking about the old stories, I'm not talking about your past setbacks, I'm talking about the essence of who you are. Now, what is the essence of who you are? The essence of who you are is perfection. And when you get more and more aware that the essence of who I am is pure perfection, there's nothing I can't accomplish that I truly want, then that's when your life is going to become magical, and that's when you're going to let the magic out. But I always share this at my World Class Wealth seminar. I'll say, I'm going to simplify this for you regarding you. That your results right now is exactly how you see yourself. And if you increase your confidence by 10x, you're going to increase your results by 10x. Now, I want you to think about that. If you had 10 times more confidence, what would you be doing? If you had 10 times more confidence, think about the ideas you would be implementing. Think about how you would have, the type of courage you would have. Confidence is an inside job. I can't give it to you. I could teach you how to build it, but I can't give it to you. You have to do the deep internal work to build it. Now, today, this moment, as you're listening to me speak, is the pivotal moment. The point of being all in, and if you're not all in, you're not going to win. I'm going to be very honest with you and very frank. Do you know anybody who is half in who is winning greatly? I don't. When you watch somebody all in, you respect it. They're like, they have guts. Well, you have guts too. But the point of all in is shifting from avoiding what you don't want to fully committing and pursuing what you absolutely do want. Now let's dissect that last statement. It's avoiding what you don't want. See, people are hiding. They don't want to look at their insecurities. And your insecurities are your greatest gifts. But until we start working on our insecurities and turn them into great strengths, it's impossible to achieve what we want. So I want you right now, just for however long I teach this lesson, I don't even know how long I'm going to teach it for. But I will tell you, just be all in with me. Put all your focus on my voice. And I want you to think about you this whole time. Anything that's an aha, I want you to put it in your notes. Now, freedom demands personal transformation. I'm doing an event in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from when I'm recording this. And it's called Transform Live. I'm going to teach every single person in that room how to transform effortlessly and easily. That doesn't mean they don't have to do the work. It's not a magic pill I give people, but I'm going to give them the exact mindset, the exact processes of what to do and how to do it. Now, if you haven't bought your ticket, you need to be in that room. Go to my website and get into Transform Live. You'll be glad you did. Now, let's look. If we're going to understand us, let's look at these 4 truths we have to understand. We have to have a reason to understand us. We have to have a sincere desire for interchanging quantum leaps. Your soul hates being boxed in, and your soul is desiring a massive quantum leap. Right now, you're on my YouTube channel because you know you can do better. You may be like I was, where you are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you are dissatisfied in such a healthy way because dissatisfaction is such a creative state. And to understand you have to be brutally honest with yourself. You never beat yourself up, but you want to look at some of the ways you're not showing up that is keeping you from living a life of freedom. Once you understand you're going to discover the workable principles. What are the workable principles? I'm going to show you in this lesson. And you're going to automatically act with an attitude of persistence, where you keep going no matter what. You keep pivoting forward, pivoting forward, pivoting forward. And this is essential to create a quantum leap for yourself. Now, let's talk about you. Your spiritual DNA is absolutely perfect. It requires no modification. There's nothing you don't have inside of you that somebody else has. But we have to become aware of our genius. You are all-knowing. You have access to all the knowledge in the world. That just takes effort. That just takes effort. I'm going to find the answers to what is holding me back. You are all-powerful. You have access to all the power in the world. I use this story a lot. You'll hear stories of a 100-pound woman picking up a car because her child's under the car. Well, she doesn't think, she just acts right away, and she takes all of life's energy and pulls that car up. How can a 100-pound woman lift up that car? Because we have access to all the power in the world. It is ever present, it's with you all the time, but our job is to become aware of it. Now, if you're not aware of it, I can tell you by your results, you're probably not making things happen, so you're not aware of what I'm talking about. Now, you may intellectually know you're infinite. You may be like me. When I was first working with my mentor, he said the number one thing you have to accept, Arash, is that you're infinite. And I remember telling him, I said, Bob, do you wake up every day saying you're infinite? He says, no, but I put it in my consciousness, I put it in my awareness that I had to become more and more of my infinite potential. See, there's no end where you could take yourself when you start doing hard things in a great way, when you start overcoming the bad habit of being the old you. Your future is going to depend on your personal growth, on how much you put effort into really changing. Now, a lot of people want to double, triple, quadruple their results without changing. They want to keep the same habits. They want to keep the same environment. That's not how it works. In order for us to grow, we have to change. Now, when I tell you, if one person can create great wealth, so can you. And you want to accept that idea. But it's not good enough just to know we're infinite. How you're going to implement your infiniteness is you have to have the courage to bet on yourself. There's no one better to bet on than you. I remember 2 years ago, I'm in Portofino, Italy on vacation. And I'm sitting out on the balcony while my wife was getting ready. And this thought came over to me, and it just filled my consciousness. And it said, what was the number one thing that you did that really made the difference? And it was so immediate, the answer, and the answer surprised me, to be honest with you. I thought the answer was going to be you implemented these ideas, you hired a mentor. But before any of that happened, it was so clear to me the minute my life changed, even though the results didn't change, is when I had the courage to bet on myself. I walked away from a guaranteed 6-figure income, and I turned everything down 3 weeks before my wedding, and I said, I am going all in on this philosophy, and I'm going to spend a year to see if it really works. But when I bet on myself, what I did, which I wasn't aware of then, is I put everything in motion. Now, are you betting on yourself? I want you to honestly ask that question. Every day, part of my philosophy, my automatic operating system is, I bet on me more than I bet on anything else. It was funny, the other day, I got this quote by Beyonce. She said, I'm not a big gambler, but I bet on myself every day. I said, God, that is so good. People are creating success not by accident. It happens, like I said, the same way for every individual, whether they're doing it consciously or unconsciously. When you understand that you're infinite, that your spiritual DNA is perfect, and you become more and more aware of that, it's going to be so simple to keep betting on yourself. Betting on yourself, I want to make like you do brushing your teeth. You don't even think about it, you just do it. That's how I want you to create the connection to betting on yourself. Now, I said earlier, I want you to make up your mind right now that you're going to create exactly what you want. Well, when you make up your mind, you're getting in harmony with the spiritual essence of who you are. That is pure perfection. You're not wondering, I wonder if I can do it. No, you boldly go into the unknown. And when you want success as badly as you want to breathe, because your want has to be so great, your want has to be so strong. And when you choose your want over circumstances or conditions, you're going to start making circumstances instead of reacting to circumstances. And boy, are you going to understand you much better and set yourself up for win after win after win. And I'm not just talking about little wins. I'm talking about creating breakthrough after breakthrough is going to be a part of your identity. I want you to take a good look at your present results right now. Just take an honest look at the area of your life that you want to focus on. But every area of our lives tells us how we see ourselves in that area. So right now, if you're not earning the income you want, you are not living in a prosperity consciousness, you're struggling to get by, that's how you understand you regarding prosperity. And then you could do it with health. You could do it with confidence. You could do it with your relationship. Our present results never lie. They always tell us what is going on inside of us. And I want you to remember this, because the people who are really winning big, they're winning big automatically. And the people who are really losing big, they're losing big automatically. Why? Because our results are a direct reflection of our subconscious programming. Now, I ask this a lot. I'll ask people, I'll say, what creates results? And they'll say the actions. And then some people will say the actions and the thinking, but they don't have the combination. And I want to work backwards with you so you really have a clear understanding of this. Our results are a manifestation of our actions are a manifestation of our programming, and our programming is a manifestation of our thinking. Well, what does that have to do with you? If I want to dramatically increase my results, then I have to think in a certain way. What is that certain way? I only accept ideas of abundance. I only accept ideas that are in harmony with my results that I want to create. That will create the new programming. The programming dictates what type of actions we take, and the results happen by default. But take an honest look at your present results right now. That will be the truest measure of how you see you on a subconscious level. I want you to make a decision today. And I mean a directive to yourself. I am done hiding. I am done suppressing my emotions. And I am done making up excuses. I am stopping protecting myself from who I want to be. Forget about if this is in your mind. I get this a lot. Well, I'm afraid of what success will be like, or I have fear of failure. Forget about all that. None of that matters. The more success you create, the more you transform yourself, the more you're tapping into the highest part of your personality. But guess what? Every time you protect yourself, all you're doing is tapping into the lowest side of your personality, the physical side. Creation is always created twice, first in your mind, then in your physical reality. But what if I told you the number one sabotager for people is they do not understand who they are? If you understood who you were, you would never be thinking in lack and limitation. Well, the manifestation of not understanding yourself is people consistently always protecting themselves from who they want to be. Do you ever ask yourself, why do I procrastinate? Protection. Why do I not risk? Protection. But what if I told you you're risking more by not risking? Because that is a truth. I want you to make part of your automatic operating system, your philosophy, that I never hold back. I may fail, but failure is such an illusion. Anybody who's winning big, they never look at it as a setback as failure. I want you to have a great relationship with failure, but when you don't hold back and when you commit, say, I'm going all in, you're letting your spirit out and you're in the spirit of what you want. Now, if we went back to our results again, our results will tell us what we're emotionally involved in. I want you to be emotionally involved in understanding how great you are. You have an amazing story. Everybody has an amazing story. But what most people think of, my story's not that good. I beg to differ. You have overcome a lot of hardships. You've had a lot of great wins, but you don't understand you. So you minimize your wins. I want you to honor your wins. But when you stop holding back, you're on your way to success. See, we have a deep inner world inside of us that if we tap into, that's the part of you that wants to 10x your confidence, 10x who you are. And this inner world will give you access to everything you want to achieve in your life. But we've got to let that person out. So we've got to do all the internal work that is going to reshape your subconscious programming. But in order to do that, you have to understand who you are. You know, I always brag about my mentor, Bob Proctor. I loved him so much. And nobody's had a greater impact in my life personally than Bob did. But he used to always tell me, he said, Arash, you have to have a clear image of your mind. And what I'm going to teach you is what he taught me and what his mentor taught him. Leela Vanderwall is the one who taught him this, but Bob taught it to me, and I've taught it to thousands and thousands of people. You have a conscious mind, you have a subconscious mind, and you have a body. Now, but our conscious mind is our thinking mind. It's our educated mind. It's where your intellect resides. But this is what I want you to see you. You're a spiritual being living in a physical body, and you've been gifted with an intellect. How you're using your intellect is how your results are created. So let's look at our results again, and that's how you're using your intellect. Now, how does my intellect operate? Well, number one, I can choose any idea that I want. I could choose any idea. So look at the ideas that you're accepting. That'll tell you what you're choosing. You can accept or reject any idea in your life. The number one part of me understanding me was understanding that I am going to only accept thoughts that are in harmony with my future life, how I want to live. And I am going to reject anything that is in harmony with what I don't want. When we become so good at accepting and rejecting ideas, your life is going to take on a different form. I want you to think about while you're watching me right now, how are you feeling? That'll tell you exactly how you've been thinking. Our feeling is on a subconscious level, and our subconscious mind is our emotional mind. But our thoughts, our feelings, and actions is another word for attitude. So let's take a look at this. In our conscious mind, we want to see what we want. That's going to allow us to feel how we want to feel. And then the feeling creates the action creates the results. That's called attitude. But until we understand, our job in our consciousness is to think about what we want by being emotionally involved with what we want, and we've radically accepted that idea like we already have it. It's going to impregnate the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is going to dictate what vibration you're in that causes the action that's going to cause your results. Now, your conscious mind, you can originate any idea. That's why I want you to originate an idea that is so worthy of you. Don't originate small ideas. Absolutely refuse to let anything on the outside control you. You're going to be controlling your destiny because you're in control of what you think about. See, once you take care of you, everything else will take care of itself. But when you look at the power of your subconscious mind must accept. So most people are unconsciously sabotaging themselves because they're living at the lowest part of their personality, the physical part. They're constantly letting the outside control them. But you watching this today, now you're aware, I'm going to be in control of me. When we're in control of our thoughts, we're in control of our emotions, we're in control of our results. Your subconscious mind cannot reject, it must accept, and it accepts with our imagination. Any idea, whether you accept it consciously or unconsciously, goes straight to your subconscious mind. And it's going to be reflected in your reality. But the beautiful part is your subconscious mind has no idea the difference between what's real or what's imagined. Your brain has no idea the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So we want to fill our consciousness by being emotionally involved with what we want. Now, we've got to understand the most important question that drives us every day if you're going to create a massive transformation. It's what do I really want more than anything else in the world? And I want you to understand how important the want is. Your want comes from the essence of who you are. And that want is for you to grow. It's not for you to get. Now, I want you to get more than you could ever imagine. But the getting is the effect. It's not the cause. The cause is in growing. So ask yourself, what do I really want? And do I have a clear image of that? Because that image has to be clear. If it is not clear, you're giving your subconscious mind double binding messages. And your subconscious is always going to express the dominant of two ideas. Now, how do we get the want inside of us to that inner world that I was talking about, that genius inside of us? We have to radically accept an idea. How do you radically accept an idea? You say, this is what I'm doing no matter what. This is how I'm living. It feels so great that I have turned my annual income into my monthly income. I have 10x my income, and you just accept it. Radically accepting an idea goes right to the subconscious mind. And you will be aware that you radically accepted an idea because you never worry about the how, and you never worry about circumstances. When you've radically accepted an idea, you are obsessed about getting better. You're obsessed about beating your personal best from the day before. You're obsessed about transforming your identity. You're obsessed about elevating your standards because your standards is what you're automatically accepting. Now, but here's the magic. Our want is absolutely essential. It comes from the essence of who we are. We radically accept the idea. We get it in the spirit, so we're emotionally involved with what we want. And the repetition of getting emotionally involved with what we want now turns our want into a magnificent obsession. When it's a magnificent obsession, it's always on our mind. So everything we do is coming from that want. But if we have a weak want, there is no magnificent obsession. And most people have weak wants. They don't spend the time understanding them and how they work and how they're wired to be able to change it, because we can only attract what we're wired for. Make your want a magnificent obsession. So I know what I want. I understand that my spiritual DNA is perfect, that if one person can do a thing, I can do it. I turn that want by radically accepting an idea every day that it is done. It turns into a magnificent obsession, and then you activate your goal. But I want to remind you how important your want is. Your want creates abundance. But when I said I want you to tap into the spiritual essence of who you are, we are aware now that we're understanding ourselves. We're probably 20 minutes into this presentation, but I want you to understand anything you want is meant to be fulfilled. The only time it's not fulfilled is because you didn't accept the idea. You never radically accepted it. The want always starts in our subconscious mind. It's channeled to our conscious mind. Our job is to accept the idea. Now, I've accepted the idea, now I'm giving it life. But I want you to re-accept it every single day, because our job is to turn the want into a desire. The want becomes a desire when we are emotionally involved and we are in the spirit of what we want. We start seeing ourselves how we would live. We start feeling how we would feel. And then with repetition, you might have to do this 1,000 times. You might have to do it 10 times. It's just going to depend on how you are programmed. But once we keep getting in the spirit of the repetition of seeing ourselves with what we want over and over again, the want turns into a desire. The desire is the releasing energy that causes us to act. It's our high octane fuel that alters the vibration, and the vibration dictates what we attract. But I've had great desires. I know you've had great desires before. Why haven't you achieved them? If desire is the end game, here's the missing ingredient. You have to have the expectation with the desire. You can have a desire, but if you don't back it with expectation, you are not igniting the law of attraction in your life. So the expectation with the desire puts you on a completely different frequency, and it's a done deal. But when I had great desires and I didn't have expectation, over time my desire weakened. I want you to expect the good you desire. It is already done, because that's how you're going to create the life you want. So we've got to get really, really excellent at understanding who we are. And that's the whole purpose of this. As you understand you are writing your destiny. Now, most people are unconsciously writing the destiny they don't want because they don't understand them. What if I gave you one of my favorite questions? What if I can be disciplined? What if I was consistent? What if I put the right effort and the right attitude every day? What could happen to my life? What if I rewrote my story in the present tense every day of seeing myself the way I want to see myself? What would that do? Well, I could tell you right away what it'll do. As you install the understanding of who you are, you act on the right ideas, you do it now, you activate that other person that's dying to come out of you that can do 10 times more. You're activating your future self in your life. You're going to create the most amazing economy. You're never going to have a need for money. You're going to start understanding that money's a game, and it's all based on your mindset, and you're going to be in control of your life. That's exactly what's going to happen when you watch this lesson over and over again. Breakthroughs don't happen by waiting. You have to act now. You have to take action today. You do not wait. And when you take action today, by starting to create a better relationship with yourself, everything's going to change. Now, I told you I wanted to give you the exact keys to understanding you better, and I'm going to give them to you right now. Number one, I want you to know exactly what you want. And from this point on, I want you to give yourself a directive that I am accepting only ideas from my want, and I'm rejecting any idea that is not coming from the want. That's step two. Step three, I'm going to spend time auto-suggesting my goal throughout the day. I recommend you put an alarm on your phone every 3 hours. When that alarm comes off, you auto-suggest your goal. I am so happy and grateful now that I am earning $100,000 or more every month, and I love it. And you get emotionally involved every time you're doing it. And then you close your eyes, and I want you to see yourself in your consciousness having what you want, already achieving that. I want you to hear somebody close to you congratulate you. I want you to see yourself at a celebratory dinner tasting the meal. I want you to give yourself a reward for what you accomplish. So when you discipline your senses, now you're getting to the real you. And I want you to keep tapping in and keep telling yourself, my spiritual DNA is perfect. I have infinite inside of me. And I want you to do this every day and write out your new story. I am so happy and grateful now that I am now earning $100,000 or more every month, and I love it. My confidence is at an absolute high. I keep getting better and better every day. Every time the idea is hot in my mind, I take action right away. I do it now. I am so comfortable in my own skin, and I keep breaking my own personal records. You keep writing that. Our story is changing now. Your story becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your prophecy creates your identity creates your results. I'm telling you, personal transformation is how you create freedom. There is a big difference between knowledge and experience. When you're experiencing something, you've done it. Studying this and not doing it, you're not going to create any results. Now, when I created Voss Coaching Co., the one thing I knew this works because I've done it. And I've done it over and over again. And I tell all of my clients in our programs that if you do what I tell you, I guarantee you're going to dramatically transform your life, and they do. Why? Because I have the experience. You want to leverage my experience. And I want you to watch this video over and over again. But I don't just want you to watch it. I want you to do the action steps I gave you. I gave you the process on how to get to know you better. But if you start doing this for 90 days, you'll do it for 90 years. I promise you, until we understand us, the results don't happen. And I want you to contact me. Let me know how you're doing. If you want high-level coaching, get into one of my coaching programs. Because like I said, I've done it, and I want to show you how to do it. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. That's how you're going to change your life. It's not about anybody else. We're the only problem we're ever going to have. We're the only solution. Take extreme ownership. Take this lesson very seriously and start getting to know you better.